Hello, my audience. I'm reviewing 2005 to 2012 trilogy of The Dark Knight. I give the first two Dark Knight movies a 7 out of 10 for just 1 point above average. That means 1 point above mediocre. The one with the Joker and the one with teases the Joker. That's the first one. At the end, teases the Joker. And it's a good tease. But then when we get to the Joker, he just turns out to be a generic Saturday morning villain. Terrorist. And, you know, he doesn't have the most memorable present in terms of being an original personality of a villain. I think this is a different Joker than the one from the comics and the one that Jack Nicholson played in our other Joker. After this is supposed to be a more of a real grounded reality Joker, but is it just me, or doesn't this Joker feel a little kind of comedic to be grounded in reality with how he plans everything out like a Saturday morning cartoon villain would? I'm just saying, his plans seem rather rehearsed. I mean, I personally think Joker in the Dark Knight trilogy is the worst villain in the trilogy that Batman goes up against. Because, I'm not saying he's not bad at what he does. But the problem is, I feel like he just doesn't feel like an original character that gives a memorable performance, like an Oscar-worthy performance. Because that's kind of sad, because this movie, Heath Ledger, after he died, last performance he did in this movie, apparently he won an Oscar for his performance of The Dark Knight, so I guess I'm wrong. I'm not sure what to think of that he would have gotten an Oscar, but he died before getting it, and someone actually I found that out, and I forget when I found that out. But anyway, that still doesn't change my opinion on Heath Ledger's performance and how he's written as the Joker. I mean, his performance is fine for what he's given, but Heath Ledger's a talented actor, I always thought. Even before anyone cared about him. And what was kind of sad about Heath Ledger, nobody gave a two shits about him as an actor before the Dark Knight movie. Nobody ever talked about, oh, you gotta see this movie. This has Heath Ledger in it. He's such a great actor. You gotta see. He's like Denzel Washington. He's the white man of talent when it comes to acting. And nobody treated him like he was like really a serious actor. They just treated him like he was a phase actor. It's kind of weird, you know? Because I think this is the worst performance of his career and I've seen a lot of his movies that he's been a part of, and this is my least favorite movie he's been a part of that he starred in. 2008 Dark Knight movie is my least favorite Heath Ledger movie of all time. I don't really hate it. I just don't think it's that great of a special film. My biggest problem is, like, not really Christian Bale's terrible voice, laughable voice as Batman that he goes for those sequels and beyond the sequel. Starting in this movie, he really dials it to 11 with the screeching, growly voice. That sounds more similar to Axl Rose. 2000s out, Axl Rose, after he lost it in the prime years and started to sound different with age. And worse than he sounded when he was in the 90s, Axl Rose. in his prime. I never liked Axl Rose's voice from Guns N' Roses, but that's what Batman sounds like. Axl Rose in the Dark Knight sequel. You know, I wasn't a big fan of his. Actually, that's why I think of his voice in all the Batman movies. He sounds like Axl Rose, his singing voice. Axl Rose singing voice. You know how his Axl voice sings like he nailed his dick to a piece of wood? Especially when he reaches the high notes, it sounds like he's shitting out pine cones out of his ass. And you didn't know that it was possible to shit out pine cones? Or to make sounds like that sounded with singing? Before Axl Rose started singing Guns N' Roses, all of his singing songs from the 90s. Well, Christian Bale's like Axl Rose in the Dark Knight, Batman Begins 1, his sing voice. 90s prime Axl Rose. But in the sequel, Batman Begins, of the Dark Knight 2012 flick even, his voice just gets worse, like Axl's singing voice gets worse from the 2000s. Like, you know when you hit 2000s Axl Rose, and his voice started to really sound aging? And like he should retire for all of our sakes of our eardrums and consider the audience eardrums and spare our audience. But no, he didn't retire. He just made more music in the 2000s, Axl Rose. And he sucked more than before. The point is, Christian Bale is Axl Rose of the Dark Knight trilogy. You know how Guns N' Roses, the band, is a band that could sound like a good band, but it's ruined by the lead singer Axl Rose? That's kind of what I think of Batman in the Batman trilogy, played by Christian Bale. It's a movie that could be a good movie if it just didn't have Christian Bale in the movie. Isn't that great? You know you're watching a quality Batman franchise when you just want him cut from the film. And that's why I give the third installment also. I'm going to give the third installment, that's my favorite in the trilogy, the same score, final verdict. A 7 out of 10 for 1 point above mediocre. Because at first I was tempted to give it more points, but then I realized, it has as much plot holes in the Dark Knight prequels prior to this movie, The Dark Knight Rises. Just has as much question logic a lot and having trouble giving my dispatch by questioning the plot holes and, you know, it's questioning the movie. Why am I watching this? Scenario, I could be watching Batman Returns or Batman from 1989 when it was cool Batman being serious. This just makes Batman being serious look like a dork was executed. It just didn't get a fucking try making it cool. And I love how this movie ends with a joke. Ends on a punchline, the third installment. How Robin is actually the name of the officer. That's a good joke. That's funny. Make the officer's legal name Robin, who was Batman's aide in the comics. One man, one crime in the comics. That's funny. A little stab in the back to the comic book fans. To say, fuck you, I'm not going to do Robin. I'm just going to call him Robin as a joke for the comic book fans. Yeah. And this movie made money. But Batman and Robin didn't. The George Clooney click, I hear. Why did people went nuts for the Nolan trilogy? People went all stabby, crabby, hate crowd on Batman and Robin George Clooney flick when it was a better movie than anything Christian Bale's done? Was the Batman brand? That's just what I think. As in one of Batman's bigger fans of Batman. Because Batman's my second favorite comic book character next to Spider-Man. But my favorite DC character. And I hate all of the live-action Spider-Man movies, except for the 2012 one. Wasn't a big fan of the sequel to that. But, what can I say? At least it's better than what Tom Holland did with the character after that. The sequel to Amazing Spider-Man 2 compared to Tom Holland's run was still better than anything Tom Holland did. Now I just made myself feel a little sad about reminding myself that Tom Holland's still Spider-Man. And he has a fourth movie coming out called Brand New Day, supposedly. I hope it does terrible. Because I wasn't a fan of his first three. Maybe it'll be good. Expect the worst scene ever, but hope for mediocre I will. But I won't expect to love it like I want to with Marvel. That's how I come to be. Since they have moved on from after post-Phase 1 wrapped up with their MCU, I have had here their universe. Since they enter Phase 2 of their universe is when I started hating a lot of Marvel movies. I just wanted Phase 1 wanted to be as good as Phase 1, Phase 2, and 3, but it wasn't. It just was shit! With some decent flicks here and there. But it didn't build around anything. Theme, I felt, you know? Like it did when the Avengers came together, it felt like it didn't build around the Avengers coming together each time. It just fell out of nowhere, left field. Like in Phase 1, it felt like it built around the Avengers going to come together for the first time. And it comes in the 2012 Avengers flick, and it builds on that was in the first two Avengers, first installments to 2012's Avengers movie of Phase 1. I'm just saying, I feel like they lost the point and what to do since they did Phase 1. I feel like they lost their story narrative. Marvel themselves. I don't think they really know what they're doing anymore since Phase 2 and beyond that. That's my review on the Dark Knight Trilogy. I give it a 7 out of 10 for 1 point above mediocre. Now I'm going to talk about Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and Iron Man. That's it. I'm not going to talk about Iron Man 3. I'm just going to talk about the first phase of Marvel Studios. All of their movies from Phase 1. Okay, I'm giving Captain America, the First Avenger, a 10 out of 10. Thor, a 10 out of 10. Iron Man 1 and 2, 10 out of 10. The Incredible Hulk, 10 out of 10. And the finale to Phase 1, Marvel's The Avengers, a 10 out of 10. That's my final thought for each movie of Phase 1. Now I'm going talk about more of the movies, of what I liked about the movies and stuff. I'm going to talk about the. I'm trying to think if I should talk about my favorite one or my least favorite one at first. You know, I'll talk about my favorite one first, and then I'll work my way down to the bottom of the list. Okay. So, my favorite is the Marvel's The Avengers movie from 2012. That movie is awesome for me. The 2012 Avengers movie. Because this is like the last time they tried to pull it off, like with combining the. I feel like this. What I like about the 2000 Avengers 12 movie, it kind of feels like a hybrid of the ideas of 616 Marvel comics and Ultimate Marvel comics. When which how it goes with this world building style visually. And how it tells the story and develops the characters and how the characters look in terms of the design of the costumes. It oddly works really well for this movie, and I wish the sequels didn't suck. This, to me, really was the best Marvel movie out of the bunch. The 2012 Marvel's Avengers movie really was the best out of the bunch, I thought. You know, in terms of storytelling and you know, in the world building, I like how how everything built around this, built up to this tie-in stories before this. And I also like how Captain America's new costume in this movie compared to what he was wearing in the first Avengers movie from prior to this, to his solo movie. I wish we could have gotten more Avengers movie or Captain America's movie was this Captain America costume. Because to me, this is my favorite Captain America costume in the 2012 Avengers movie because it just looks so much like Captain America. With the bright blue, bright red, and outfit like really like high, like making like a looks like Captain America, like a monk. I just really wish like they didn't change this back to the something similar like us. I wish they didn't change it back to the first Avenger looks, a hybrid of the first Avenger, a look more modern. It's just, to me, I didn't like it because he had to water down the colors a bit of the, especially on the blues color. He had to water down the blue more darker navy blue. And water down the red to more darker red. It's like, to me, it's like, it looks lame. To me, it just doesn't look as Captain America-ish. Darkening the colors. Looks kind of lame. Visually, you know? kind of reminded me of the time when the Brendan Routh played Superman. And they darkened the colors for the first time. And I did miss the bright and blue colors, because he still has the trunks, and he still acts like Superman to Chris, and similar to Chris Reeve's era, based on Silver Age Superman, you know? I just didn't make sense why darken his colors, you know? Yes, it was intentional, but I think it was a wrong, misguided, intentional move to darken the Superman colors for more realistic. I think it would have been more realistic if he just had the bright colors with Superman, because Superman doesn't act any different. I mean, he acts more of a loner than he has been in the past with other Superman movies, but he still acts like a beacon of hope like Superman. So, it was stupid for them to change the colors and darken the colors in Superman Returns. Stupid filmmaking decision it was. Didn't work, I don't think. Visually for me. I mean, it wasn't a bad design Superman costume. It just wasn't perfect like I wanted it to be, because I missed like all the bright colors, you know, with the Superman design. But I got used to it and adjusted. Visually, once I changed the costume. I forget what I was bringing up to this. I brought this up. Oh yeah, I hate Captain America's costume in the MCU after 2012 retconned of his, after 2012 perfected costume, and they retconned it after it to make the colors darker and muted. Looks like shit. Idea visually to me. That's why I don't think Chris Evans is as good. It was run as Captain America was as fun as I thought, or as cool as other people thought. You know, his run was kind of lame after the first Captain America. I give Captain America the first Avengers. No, wait, I was talking about 2012 Avengers. I give 2012 The Avengers movie a 10 out of 10. Now I'm going to talk about the tie-ins. I'm going to talk about Captain America first. I'm going to talk about Captain America, the First Avenger from 2012. I mean, 11 it came out, I think. Yeah, it came out 2011. It came out a year before the First Avenger came out, I think. I give it a 10 out of 10. I love Captain America in this movie. I love his redesign of his costume. That he wears in the movie and he wears on stage. And Dallas was going to head in battle first to save Bucky and his friends. And so I like that costume. And I like the look of the Red Skull and makeup on the Red Skull. Makeup, how he looked, played by, what's the actor's name? If I can forget his name, actor's name. He was good as the Red Skull. I like we got to see some shots when he is out of makeup and also in makeup, in the Red Skull makeup. And I like we got to see his real face and also his Red Skull makeup face. Was wearing prosthetics, and it turns out that was just prosthetics wearing he was. That looks good. The makeup on Red Skull is really good. Looks something straight out of the faithful 616 comics design. of the Red Skull. It looks so cool. I love the Red Skull. I love how he's portrayed in this movie. He's very comically portrayed. I love how they brought the Red Skull to life. You know, like they brought Captain America to life. And just went faithful as fuck was the Red Skull and make him like a you make him a piece of shit Nazi and that wants to take over the world and I like this. I just like this movie. This Red Skull. Although it was weird how Red Skull, the Red Skull who's a Nazi, ends up killing a Nazi for as a lab rat test to see if was one of his gadgets. I thought it was weird. I feel why he did that. Was he testing something? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm a little confused. Wait, was he? I got that plot of the movie kind of threw me off before the part of the Red Skull killing a Nazi because Red Skull's also a Nazi. Did anybody thought that was a little weird of seeing Red Skull kill a Nazi when he's also a Nazi and just testing his machine to fry a Nazi? I thought that was strange. Part of the movie for me. It just didn't seem make sense with his character. I guess no honor among Nazis. I guess there's this. I guess no honor among Nazis. Red Skull believes. Every man for himself. He's kind of. I guess he is type. So. I still give this a 10 out of 10. I like this movie a lot. And I give... Fuck. What do I want to talk about? I give this movie a 10 out of 10. And I'm going to talk about... Thor, 2012. I give that a 10 out of 10. Because despite having terribly... I really thought it was kind of an overkill with them shooting everything in the Dutch angle cinematography. Especially the action shots. It worked kind of with them that's talking, I guess. But when it comes to the constant action, it just didn't work for me. When the action was there, it didn't happen. It just gave me a headache often, the Dutch angles, so I thought this was tightly shot in. That's one problem, but it's a good story and a good development of Thor and a good world building and teasing at the coming of the Avengers and Thor joining the Avengers. And I did a good job making Thor likable and compelling, interesting character, and did a good job in the most faithful story of, and also, sadly, this is the best and the most faithful story of Thor from Marvel Comics. I see, because after Thor 1, I noticed he kind of put more forced humor constantly in Thor with his solo movies. In his Avenger runs after the 2012 finish and into Age of Ultron. You make every superhero comedian on Team Avengers. Whedon did. But is that Whedon's fault? Because I think that's more of the studio's fault. Because it seems once James Gunn came out with Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, Marvel thought it was a good idea to make everyone like the Guardians humor. So it seems like they thought it was a good idea to make every Avengers member that's supposed to be a serious person a comedian even. Remember Black Widow? Remember how she was kind of more of a serious character in the first, in 2002 of Iron Man movie, in 2012's Avengers movie? She was less of a jokey character than your Robert Downey character by playing Iron Man. Well, in Age of Ultron, she's a fucking comedian. They made her into a fucking comedian, I guess. But then again, they made everyone into a dumbass comedian since it was Age of Ultron and after that. Because Guardians of the Galaxy came out in 2014, I believe, and Captain America came out in 2014, the same year as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. And Age of Ultron came out a year after Guardians. So, is it really that far-fetched that Marvel might have did this intentionally just to screw over the original fans? Possibly. Because I was one of them, I feel like I got screwed in the end. So this is what Phase 2 did. I mean, it works with Gunn's Guardians take, don't get me wrong, okay? I think Gunn's Guardians movie is definitely one of the best, if not the best, out of anything since we enter Phase 2 of Marvel. I think Gunn's Guardians movie is the best out of the Marvel Phase 2. And also same goes for Guardians Volume 2. Not as good as Volume 1, I thought. But Volume 3, that came a little after Endgame, was the best thing in most. I think that's the best Marvel product that they have come out in the main content of their universe. Not counting the stuff from Phase 1, but since they entered Phase 1 and gone beyond Phase 2. I mean, since they enter Phase 2 and gone beyond Phase 2 and exit Phase 1 from 2012's Avengers era. And that's what Phase 1 ended. There was a finale to Phase 1 and was 2000 Avengers movie from 2012. And since then, I don't care what everyone says. A lot of it's just been shit with their movies and shows. And their short films. And that's why I'm giving the Guardians Trilogy a 10 out of 10. By James Gunn, Marvel Studios. I think I give that a 10 out of 10, the whole trilogy. My favorite Guardians movie is the third one and the first one. Don't know which one I like more, the first one or the third one, not sure. My least favorite is the sequel. The first sequel, Volume 2. And that's why I give... Oh, I forgot to give Captain America... I was talking about Thor first. Before talking about Guardians. And that's why I give Thor a 10 out of 10. And I give Iron Man 1 and 2 a 10 out of 10. For developing the character and taking him seriously and still giving him quips of humor to joke. And in the first two ones. And this third one just turned him into a punchline, a parody of himself, I felt like. That's why I really didn't like about Iron Man 3 and beyond Iron Man. And beyond that, I didn't like Iron Man after that. I haven't liked Iron Man since 2012 Avengers movie wrapped up. I like Iron Man in his first two tie-in movies. And I liked him in the first Avengers movie, but not since then I haven't liked him ever in MCU after that point. I liked him less than Captain America after 2012 Avengers and entering Phase 2. At the end, after the show me what they made in Phase 2, and after that, I just didn't like the characters as much. They just didn't seem as iconic, you know, or memorable, like they did in Phase 1. That's why I give Avengers tie-in movies, 2008 Iron Man, 2010's Iron Man 2, a 10 out of 10. I like Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 1. I'm not sure which one I like more. Now that I'm thinking about it out loud. I like them both a lot. And, my favorite solo Avengers movie in Phase 1 is, you probably guessed it right now, is 2008's The Incredible Hulk. I give that a 10 out of 10. 2, as well. Because that's my favorite solo Marvel project of all time. That will never get a sequel. I have accepted defeat. That will never get another Hulk movie by Marvel. And if it is, it's just going to have Mark Ruffalo play himself, not Hulk we know and love. That has anger issues and overpowers fucking can smash tons of stuff. I just know that everyone get it. Him and his here, and if we do get him back, he's going to be a villain instead of going to be a hero. You know, like they're going to just glance over that fact that he used to be that he's known for being a hero in because you know in the 616 comics he's known for being a hero, Savage Hulk, often. But they're just going to skip that chapter of his life pretty much, you know, and if they bring him back, you know, whatever that might be, it's going to make him a villain. They're going to make him straight up into Maestro, I bet. Savage Hulk. They're going to make him into Maestro. You know, Maestro is like a Hulk, that's evil Hulk from Apocalyptic Elseworld story. That's what I think they're going to do. They're going to make him Maestro, and then they're going to make Reed Richards the Maker after he breaks out with Susan Storm and dishes the Fantastic Four and turns evil. Because that's what happened in the Ultimate Comics. Because in the Ultimate Comics, Savage Hulk is more of a villain than a hero. But, he's not as heroic or tries to be good like the 616 Hulk is known for. He's more of a known for being a monster, like biting off people's heads and eating them. He's a cannibal also. That's not something that 616 Hulk is. But Ultimate Hulk is a cannibal. As far as I know. I don't think Hulk is a 616 Hulk is a cannibal as far as I know. So I think they're going to do something. Rush it. So that's what I think is going to happen. If with Reed Richards and also Fantastic Four brand, what they're going to do with characters, they ain't going to do with the Hulk. I hate Marvel Studios since after Phase 1 wrapped up and entering Phase 2. They've become my worst movie company. I have hated more than any other movie studio, even more than Shyamalan, because I feel that betrayed by them. Since Phase 2 has happened, and entering Phase 2 after that, it's just sucked so often. I give Like Incredible Hulk a 10 out of 10. And, one more review I'm going to give in this video. I give this movie called Marvel's Thunderbolt a 10 out of 10. Because I really enjoyed it. Surprised how much I enjoyed it. A lot, the characters and stuff. And the film was nice, and the visuals are nice, and overall, I didn't see anything wrong with the movie. I mean, didn't do well financially other than that. It didn't do well, I see that. But I didn't hate the movie at all. I actually liked it a lot. Thunderbolts. I give that a 10 out of 10. And that's my video on the Dark Knight Trilogy and Marvel Phase 1 and the Guardians Trilogy and Thunderbolts I reviewed in this video. Post after Endgame, I review this stuff. Okay. In this video, I'm going to think what's the title of the video and figure out, I'm going to figure out. Bye. I'm sorry I got stumbling over my words. My mouth is dry. I need a drink after this video, like some water or something. So like this video, subscribe to my channel. My name is J. Allen Graham. I hope you enjoyed this video and review of Dark Knight Trilogy and Marvel Studios Universe. Bye. Wrong button.